Yeah, I have a lot of sympathy with what you've been saying today and with the RSPB's position, but I'm afraid I think it does demean such an important institution with so much reputation and expertise to be expressing itself in this way. I think calling someone a liar is quite a serious accusation, and it's an accusation that someone is not only wrong or...
No, they said they wouldn't weaken environmental protections, and they have.
Okay, but what I was going to go on to say is that it's further than that. It's an accusation that the person is actually acting in bad faith. And look, the RSPB has a huge amount of knowledge.
Just
let me finish.
No, I won't let you finish because I won't be able to concentrate on what you say next if we don't clarify what you said before first.
Okay, fair enough.
So they said they wouldn't weaken environmental protections, and they have. So where's the confusion for you there?
So I think if you were to accuse someone of being a liar and acting in bad faith, what you would be saying is that back in 2017, when Michael Gove said that...
That's a different lie. Sorry, this is why it's important that I do interrupt sometimes so that I can clarify for you what I've said. So that was a different lie. That's just proof that Michael Gove has a history of lying on this particular subject. But on the promise not to weaken environmental protections, that's this year. I mean, that's the last manifesto. That's constant.
Okay, no, I understand, but I think
now they've weakened now they have weakened environmental protections. So they said they weren't going to do something, and then they did it. What word would you prefer we used to describe the thing they said that wasn't true?
I think the important part of what I was going to say was that if the RSPB is going to make that criticism, and by the way, with their expertise and with their reputation, I don't think it's wrong for them to do that.
Yes.
I think they should make that in a measured, evidence-based way, not on Twitter using this kind of sort of mudslinging language.
Okay, no, I understand that. I mean, I understand that perfectly. That's your, what's the word? Well, that's your sensibilities, though, isn't it?
Yeah, but I think that's incredibly important.
I think everybody's sensibilities are important, but it's not based on anything other than your claim today that you don't like that sort of behaviour on social media.
It's not just that. I mean, I think you talk a lot about Boris Johnson and the degradation of standards in public life.
Yes.
It's undoubtedly broad. And I'm afraid I think if we hold ourselves to those new standards rather than the standards that we should be holding ourselves to, then we've really, really lost an awful lot in public life. And I think... Fair enough, all of the things that you've mentioned. No,
you can't conflate lying with calling someone a liar.
Lying is much worse, but I still think calling...
So what would you call it? Under your reading of more suitable or appropriate behaviour, what would you like to see liars called instead of liars?
I would suggest that the way this should be framed is a forensic examination of what the government has said and what they've had done and how inconsistent it is. I think that should come
if the conclusion as a consequence of that forensic examination is that they have lied, what word would you prefer?
I still don't think in that circumstance...
No, I know, that's what I'm acknowledging. I'm asking what word you would prefer. So here is a liar, and you don't like the word liar, and you don't think the RSPB should be using the word liar. What word would you prefer them to use to describe that liar over there?
Could you give me an example of the kind of finding that you would want them to have found? So, for example,
here is a politician who said we definitely won't reduce environmental protections, and then they did. There's an example.
Okay, fair enough.
So here's that liar right in front of you, the one who lied about not reducing environmental protections. And we're not going to call him a liar because something, RSPB something. What are we going to call him instead?
Fine. So the way that I would frame that is that what the government has done is not consistent with what they said they would do, and we believe they're actually...
You know there's a character limit on Twitter.
Well, you'd have to be creative and use it.
Go on then. So what single word would you use to replace the word liar?
It doesn't have to be a single word. I think.
All right, you can have 5.
We don't refer to single word.
You can have 5.
No, I think it needs to be a sentence or a set of sentences that simply explain why they believe that they were acting in bad faith and their reasons for doing so. I think that's actually so important that we don't.
That's not really making sense. That's not. It's not mudslinging and name calling. It's an accurate description, and that's why I'm pushing you on what word you would use. What word would you? It's not a pejorative. It's an accurate description. It would be a pejorative if it wasn't true, but it is. No one's disputing that. So here is the liar. What are we going to call the liar who has lied if we're not going to call them a liar after they lie?
I don't think it's necessary to attach a label to someone. I think the facts themselves.
Okay, there we go. But the facts are?
Well, the facts are that the government has quite consistently and persistently said they would not weaken environmental protections after Britain left the European Union. And in this instance, there is a weakening of environmental protections.
So they've lied.
I think that stands for themselves. Well, not necessarily, because a lie implies acting in bad faith, and you haven't necessarily proved that.
Well, a lie doesn't necessarily imply acting in bad faith. A lie implies lying.
No, a lie is bad faith.
But he's a liar.
No, I mean, a lie is implicitly impugning the motive of a person, not the inconsistency in their statement, James.
No, it's both. And I am imputing the motive of the person. He is a liar. He said he wouldn't do something, and then he did. Give me the positive reading of that, the positive analysis of that, the analysis of that casts Michael Gove in a good light.
Well, I think that's a different question.
I know it is. That's why I asked it.
An example might be if you're not to accuse someone in bad faith is he said something back in 2017. Circumstances had changed. He really reevaluated the subject and came to a different conclusion.
But they've been pledging all along that they weren't going to reduce environmental protections, and they have reduced just forgive me for asking this question, but what's your what's the word I want? What made you pick up the phone today? What is it you object to here? What?
It's about standards in public life, I think.
Okay, and that's incredible. So people listening to this think that your interest in standards in public life is focusing upon the RSPB using the word liar more than on Michael Gove lying.
Not necessarily.
No, it is. You can't keep saying not necessarily. That's what you've rung in to do. You've rung in to object to the RSPB's behaviour in describing a liar as a liar and claiming that your motivation is a concern for standards in public life. You're defending a liar. How about a person who lies? A person who lies. Is that better?
You're not letting me speak, James.
Well, you've spoken quite a lot.
Yeah, but not in the last few minutes. You've asked people to phone in to say, what do you think of the RSPB's behaviour, not what do you think of Michael Gove's behaviour.
Well, what do you think of Michael Gove's behaviour?
What do I think of Michael Gove's behaviour on this? I think it's clearly inconsistent. I think they've not honoured their promises. Whether or not they've been acting in bad faith in respect of this, I'm going to reserve judgment because this ultimately is
Can you think of a word to describe someone who's broken a promise?
Someone who's... Again, it would depend on whether I thought they'd done bad faith or not.
Rhymes with fire.
Sorry?
It rhymes with fire.
I mean, you're just determined to try to lead the witness to the point at which they say someone is a liar.
I'm not, mate. This isn't about the witness. This is about the jury. And they will have arrived at their own conclusions by now, Aidan. Thank you.